programs are accredited by National Board of Accreditation. Since 2021, BMSIT is functioning as an autonomous institution granted by, that is, autonomous status has been granted by UGC and Visvesvaraya Technological University. Since 2017, the institute has been ranked in National Innovation Ranking Framework between 95 to 300. Additionally, the Civil Engineering Department's labs are certified by NABL, ensuring quality standards. BMSIT has strong industry links through activities like curriculum design aligned with industry needs, industry-supported labs, research projects, internships, training program, and industry visits. The institute is also focused on research, so with faculty members working on funded research projects worth over 2 crores from national funding agencies like DST, AICTE, IEEE, and Bureau of Indian Standards. Faculty and students have published over 300 research papers in reputed journals and conferences in the calendar year 2024. The institute also holds 6 granted patents. BMSITM has a startup ecosystem supported by Incubation Center and Section 8 company. This ecosystem includes over 55 awards for innovations, 50 plus alumni startups, and 6 student startups. The Career Development Cell at BMSIT provides extensive support for placements, higher education, and career counseling. With its strong industry connection, BMSIT has an excellent placement track record, and it's consistently ranked among top 6 engineering colleges in Bangalore. So we are truly honored to have with us today a visionary and stalwart in the world of electronics, our chief guest, Dr. Satya Gupta, so founder of IESA and EPIC Foundation, and also the president of the VLSI Society of India. Sir, your pioneering work continues to inspire generations of engineers and researchers. We are deeply grateful for your presence here today, sir. Instrumental in advancing electronics design, automation, and semiconductor design. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Ganapateyanna paliso gambhira Parvati nandana sundaravadana Parvati nandana sundaravadana Sharvati suravandya shira bhaguveno Ganapateyanna paliso ಆದಿ ಪೂಜಿತ ನೀನು ಮೋದ ಬಕುತರಿಗೆತ್ತು ಆದಿ ಪೂಜಿತ ನೀನು ಮೋದ ಬಕುತರಿಗೆತ್ತು ಮಾಧವನಲಿ ಮನ ಸದಾ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸೋನಿ ಮಾಧವನಲಿ ಮನ ಸದಾ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸೋನಿ ಪಂಕಜನಯನ ವೆಂಕಟ ವಿಠಲನ ಪಂಕಜನಯನ ವೆಂಕಟ ವಿಠಲನ ಕಿಂಕರನೇ ನೀ ಸಂದ ಶಂಕರತನಯನೆ ಕಿಂಕರನೇ ನೀ ಸಂದ ಶಂಕರತನಯನೆ.
Technology trends and what are the skills required to adapt to these technology advancements and societal shifts, global challenges. Okay, this is a main objectives why we have called industry leaders here for the panel discussions. And now we have stalls here put up just to showcase the prototypes from the industry products so that our students will get exposure to the products and prototypes what industry is working on. So you will have a great opportunity here. You have a great opportunity to share your thoughts, your ideas. You can share with the industry panelists. Yes, you can get in touch with them, take the help from them. So we have an ecosystem created here where we'll be able to support your ideas convert that ideas into prototypes and help you building, products. So that is entrepreneurship. Industry experts are here to help us in developing a curriculum which is aligned with industry. So that is already happening. Last December, we had an industry conclave where we have invited industry experts and we have taken the insights, their inputs, and we have incorporated the same in our, as our principal sir said, VLSI system design. We have started a PG program. In that, we have incorporated the changes, and our scheme is ready. Now our professors are working on the curriculum, and again we are getting it reviewed by the industry leaders so that we are aligned with industry with respect to curriculum. Next is learning, TLP, teaching learning process. There we have to bring innovation, pedagogy, what pedagogy we adopt in improving the learning outcomes in the students. Next is skilling, to develop that skill set required for the industry. Parallelly, we have skilling programs in the institute. I am very happy to mention that our principal is a main motivator behind us. He is the main driving force who has encouraged us to take up this core engineering seriously. He is motivating us to conduct this kind of conclaves where we are calling core industry leaders specifically, because our electronics, telecommunication, electrical students are placed in IT. Every college is placing. But how we are different, what efforts we are making to bridge the gap between industry and academia.
Dr. Satyagupta sir is a techno-visionary with a wealth of experience and expertise, and he's been a part of worldwide semiconductor and electronics industry for over 4 decades. After a 12-year-long corporate career at Intel, he co-founded 4 successful startups: Intel Microelectronics, Open Silicon, Concept to Silicon, and Sensopt in semiconductor and electronics product areas. He was the founding member of India's Semiconductor Association, ISA, in 2005, and ISA chairman for the years 2012-13 and 2020-21. He also co-founded and he was CEO of Epic Foundation, a non-profit organization for developing Indian electronics products. His vision and mission is make India an electronics and semiconductor product nation and take VLSI design and semiconductor education at undergraduate level to 500 plus colleges in all parts of India, enabling 1 chip tape out per student before graduation. One thing I want to tell you very proudly, he's the recipient of the IEEE Gordon Bell Award for the fastest computer. He's also honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award from VLSI and Distinguished Alumni Award from BITS Pilani, India.
Let me just ask a question to the audience, right? Out of all the gadgets you have in your pocket, how many chips you have on your person today? How many semiconductor chips you have with you as of now when you are sitting here? Do you have any idea how many semiconductor chips you have with you and you are using? Do you all carry a semiconductor chips in your pocket? Yes? No? Nobody wants to answer? Do you have a semiconductor chip in your pocket? All of you? Okay, good. So, I think that signifies the importance of the semiconductor in our day-to-day life. Also, the progress of any country today and the importance of a country in a geopolitics scenario is not today because of the how many nuclear weapons you carry, how many ships you have, or how many tanks you have, but what kind of the semiconductor capabilities you have, because that's what is going to define the future for any nation and the growth trajectory. So just to give a perspective that what is the importance of this sector, today India consumes almost $200 billion of electronics product. As a consumer, you, me, all the people sitting in the dais, we all consume about $200 billion worth of electronics products, right? And as most of these electronics products, be it mobile phone, be it this mic, be it the hearable, wearable products you have, everything depends on semiconductor. So about $44 billion out of this $200 billion is the semiconductor consumption in India, right? And if we take a look going forward, in 2030, the electronics consumption will become almost $500 billion, and semiconductor consumption will become around $125–130 billion. But as we march towards 100th centenary of our independence in 2047, these numbers take extraordinary proportion, right? The electronics consumption in India by 2047 will reach to almost $3 trillion, right? Just the electronics, which is like almost equal to the whole GDP of the country, which is about $3.8 billion today, right? And electronics, semiconductor out of that 3 trillion will become almost like $800 billion, right? If you look at total worldwide market for semiconductor today, it's about $600 billion. So think that India itself will consume $800 billion, which is the worldwide consumption of more than worldwide consumption of semiconductor today in 2047. So that is the importance and significance of this sector going forward. And when we reach 2047, today electronics is about 5% of our GDP, 5.8%, right? By 2047, it will become almost 10.5% of the GDP, probably the biggest contributor to GDP. And in terms of the employment, if we count the direct and indirect employment which electronics and semiconductor together will generate, by 2047, almost 10 crore jobs will be generated by this sector, which is almost 7 to 8% of the total working population at that time. So these numbers maybe just look very big and unconceivable right now, but that's what basically we are looking in the future, right? Now, we are consuming a lot. Are we producing a lot? Okay. When I say are we producing a lot, that how many of the electronics products which we consume are Indian products developed by Indian companies, okay? And I'm not talking about just manufacturing, the ownership of the product, right? Let me ask a question to the audience. How many of you carry a Indian company's mobile phone in your pocket? Anybody who carries a Indian company's mobile phone in your pocket? How many of you carry a mobile phone from a Chinese company in your pocket? Good. And there might be some basically rich class people who might be carrying an iPhone also, right? So we have iPhone, Samsung, and basically 7 Chinese companies. If you look at this is probably the most important and most prevalent electronics product. That's why we are taking the example of mobile phone, which is almost like probably 30% of total consumption, right? So 76% of the mobile phones which we use come from the 7 or 8 Chinese companies, and the remaining basically come from Samsung and Apple, right? That's the 99.9%, right? They're hardly less than 1%, right? We are going to consume more and more. And if we have this situation, as we march our path towards the developed nation, this is an untenable situation and unacceptable situation to all of us, right? That out of basically all the products which we consume, India today has the less than 10% share of the Indian products, right? Again, not counting just pure manufacturing, because in electronics, manufacturing is a very low-key activity, right? It does not contribute that much to economy. The product companies basically contribute to economy. And we have less than 10% of basically products which we consume come from the Indian companies. For a large country which is going to become the third largest economy in the world in next coming year, that is an untenable and unacceptable situation. So I think together, all of us should strive to make more products out of India, okay? And take a goal that by 2030, we will have at least 30% of the market share through Indian products, and by 2047, at least a 50% market share. We don't want to be isolation or basically a closed economy. We want to welcome everybody, but we should have a due share of the Indian products, which will give us the, not just the economic edge, but it will give us the sovereignty, right? What we call is that basically sovereign autonomy, that we can make our decisions because we are master of our own products, right? That gives the country a sovereign autonomy, right? And that is very important in today's world, right? Second thing, why products are important, right? We all know iPhone is very popular among everybody, right? Who makes iPhone? Which company makes iPhone? Apple, right? Which company predominantly manufacture iPhone? Foxconn, right? Is one of the large company. Now Tata and all those people are also manufacturing, but worldwide Foxconn is the largest company. So let's say, without going into the actual number, a typical iPhone sells for $1,000, right? $1,000. Actually, it is about $1,400. For ease of the discussion, let's say $1,000, right? How much money Apple makes out of that $1,000 per iPhone? Anybody? 300? 3%. Okay. Anybody else? $300. Anybody else from the student community? $600, right? So, ballpark, basically, Apple makes about 55 to 60% of the gross profit on an iPhone, which is almost like what sir said is about $500 to $600, right? That's the gross profit, not the revenue, right? That's the gross profit which Apple makes, right? How much money Foxconn makes per iPhone out of $1,000? Anybody? Maybe people from the back. How much money Foxconn make per iPhone? 30%? Anybody else? $75. So it is about $50. So now you can decide you want to be a product company or you want to be a manufacturing company. You get $500 being a product company, and you get basically $50 being the manufacturing company, 10x difference. Not just that, the complete supply chain in terms of what goes inside the iPhone, right? What chip goes, what electronics component goes, what camera goes, everything is decided by the product company, not by manufacturing company. So that gives you a complete control over the supply chain also.
Vote of thanks. I always feel to be a very easy job, but then when you have dignitaries on the dais, it makes it a bit tough. Anyway, once again welcoming all the deans, head of departments, the student coordinators, and the external participant student and external participant staff to our institution to have a very good time at our campus. I thank each one of you to coming here. Not to say the least, I thank our magnanimous management who always support these type of activities, and our captain of the ship, Principal Sir, who takes forward and converts them into reality. MTech VLSI is the brainchild of his, which is going to start shortly in our campus. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I thank all the student coordinators, the media, and every person who has contributed to make this electronic conclave to come to this level.
ಇವತ್ತು ಈವೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ಸಿನರ್ಜಿ ಅಂತ ಈವೆಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್ is mainly to bridge the gap between the industry and academy. I urge all the students and the academy to use this opportunity and discuss about bridging the gap between the university and industry. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ whatever is happening in the latest trends in industry, we will bring all the industry expertise to the colleges. And as Dr. Satya Gupta said, we are going to enable a tape-out program which students can use to see their work in the silicon. So that's going to be started, and I appreciate BMS College also for starting this master's program in VLSI design.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರಭಾಕರ್ ಮಿಶ್ರಾ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ವಾಗ್ಮಿನ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ಗೆ CEO ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ BMSITನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಬೆಡೆಡ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜಾಬ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಾವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ BMSIT ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಈ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಧನ್ಯವಾದದ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳು. ಅವರು ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅಪಾರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಇವೆ, ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಆದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಆದರೆ ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಈ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ.
This is Dr. Satya Gupta, President VLSI Society of India. I'm very happy to be at BMS today and being part of the Silicon Synergy program. Semiconductors are becoming very important for any country including India, and it will play a pivotal role in making India a developed nation by 2047. I'm very happy that BMS is starting a MTech program in VLSI system design, and I encourage them to start more such program even at the BTech level, so that we can have the both quality and quantity of the VLSI professionals coming out of the prestigious institutes like BMS and contributing India's journey to become a semiconductor product nation.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸಾಯಿ ಚಂದನ್. ನಾನು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಇವೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ಸಿನರ್ಜಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ. ಸೊ ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ is all about spreading awareness about electronics and circuit branches. They are largely discouraged and pushed over the software side, but we are here to tell them that there is scope in embedded systems, VLSI, semiconductors. There's a lot of scope for core jobs, and electronics is here to stand, has been there and will be there for us in the industry.